This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, sir. వచ్చింది సార్.
చదివారా? ఇందులో ఒక 2 క్వశ్చన్లు వేద్దామని. పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ నిన్నే అడుగుతా అయితే. ఏంటి చెప్పు, వాట్ ఆర్ ది మెయిన్ ఫంక్షన్స్ ఆఫ్ ది లివర్? తెలుసు, ఎట్టగట్ట చెప్తారు. ఇంపార్టెంట్ లివర్ ఫంక్షన్ టెస్ట్ మీకు మెడిసిన్ లో కూడా చెప్తారుగా.
ఎస్ సార్.
ఏంటి చెప్పు ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఒక 2 టెస్టులు పేర్లు చెప్పి చాలు. ఏమైనా సీరం బిల్రూబిన్ చెప్పచ్చు కదా. సీరం బిల్రూబిన్, ఎంజైమ్స్, ఎస్జిఓటి, ఎస్జిపిటి, ఏఎల్టి,
ఎస్జిఓటి, ఎస్జిఓటి, ఎస్జిపిటి, ఏఎల్పి,
జీజీటి, 5 న్యూక్లియోటైడేజ్, ఇవన్నీ ఉన్నాయి కదా. ఆల్బుమిన్ ఆల్సో వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సీరం ఆల్బుమిన్ ఆల్సో, బికాజ్ ఆల్బుమిన్ is synthesized in the liver, కదా. So albumin level is also, albumin globulins are also very important. Okay.
yes sir.
So
Activated
ఇది ఇంపార్టెంట్. హెపటోసైట్ ఫంక్షన్ అయితే ఏఎస్టి, ఏఎల్టి. ఏఎస్టి అంటే ఏంటి? ఆస్పార్టేట్ అమైనో ట్రాన్స్ఫరేజ్. ఏఎల్టి అంటే అలనైన్. ఏఎల్టి అంటే ఎస్జిపిటి, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. ఏఎల్టి అంటే ఎస్జిపిటి, ఏఎస్టి అంటే ఎస్జిఓటి. సో సింథటిక్ ఫంక్షన్కి వచ్చేసి పీటీఐ అన్నారు, ఆల్బుమిన్, బిలిరుబిన్ అండ్ సమ్ ఫ్యాక్టర్స్, క్లాటింగ్ ఫ్యాక్టర్స్. అండ్ బిలియరీ కెనలిక్యులర్ ఫంక్షన్కి ఏఎల్పి, బిలిరుబిన్, 5 న్యూక్లియోటైడేజ్, జీజీటి, గామా గ్లూటామిల్ ట్రాన్స్ఫరేజ్. ఇది ఎల్ఎఫ్టీస్ ఆర్ డివైడెడ్ ఇన్ దీస్ కేటగిరీస్. ఇది నార్మల్ రేంజెస్ కూడా తెలుసుకోండి. బిలిరుబిన్ ఎంత నార్మల్ రేంజ్, ఇక్కడేమో మైక్రోమోల్స్లో ఇచ్చాడు, బట్ మనం మిల్లీగ్రామ్స్లో కూడా తెలుసుకోవాలి. బట్ సమ్ పీపుల్ పీజీ లెవెల్లో అడుగుతారు మైక్రోమోల్స్లో కూడా ఏంటి అనేసి. సో ఏఎల్పి, ఏఎస్టి, ఏఎల్టి, జీజీటి, ఆల్బుమిన్, ప్రోథ్రాంబిన్ టైం, ఇది ఇంపార్టెంట్ నార్మల్ వాల్యూస్. సో ఆల్బుమిన్, గ్లోబులిన్ మీద కొంచెం ఇది. ఈ ఆల్ఫా-1 యాంటీట్రిప్సిన్ ఇవి కూడా, బికాస్ ఫర్ రేర్ డిసీజెస్, స్టోరేజ్ డిసీజెస్, because this alpha-1 antitrypsin ఇది కూడా, this is also being synthesized by the liver. So this is deficient in some conditions. Okay, see, may be associated with increased incidence in emphysema and neonatal jaundice. Alpha-2 macroglobulin, ceruloplasmin అంటే ఈ విల్సన్స్ డిసీజ్ ఉంది. ఈ కాపర్ అక్యుములేటింగ్, ఇట్ ఈస్ డిక్రీజ్డ్ ఇన్ విల్సన్స్ డిసీజ్. అందులో అంటే కాపర్ ఎంజైమ్. అండ్ అవర్ మెయిన్ కన్సర్న్ ఇస్ ఆల్ఫా ఫెటోప్రోటీన్. దిస్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఈజ్ ఏ ట్యూమర్ బయోమార్కర్. ఈ లివర్ వీటిలన్నిటిలో కూడా ఈ లివర్ మ్యాలిగ్నెన్సీస్, హెపటోసెల్యులర్ కార్సినోమా, వీటిలన్నిటిలో కూడా పెరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. చదవండి. ప్రోథ్రాంబిన్ టైమ్ is, because why ప్రోథ్రాంబిన్ టైమ్ is affected? Because vitamin K dependent clotting factors are synthesized in the liver. Okay, so ఏంటవి ఉన్నాయి కదా, 2, 5, 7 ఉన్నాయి కదా, 2, 5, 7 and 11 అనుకుంటా, 9 and 11. These are the clotting factors which are synthesized in the liver with the help of the vitamin K. So whenever there is a disease of the liver, these factors will not be produced, and the PT, plasma thromboplastin time, okay, that will be increased, and that is measured by PT-INR. PT-INR అంటే ఏంటి అడుగుతారు. PT-INR అంటే the prothrombin time of the patient is compared to the international standard. So it must be normally 1, and if it is more, means the clotting abnormality will be present. So transaminases like AST, ALT, ALP, GGT, LDH, ఇవన్నీ కూడా మీరు చదవండి. సో ALT అంటే గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, ALT అంటే SGPT. And this is more specific. ALT is more specific than AST. SGOT కంటే కూడా SGPT is more specific for liver diseases. See, most of the liver conditions are causing elevated levels of the ALT. Whereas AST can be due to other conditions like apart from liver disease. See, it is less specific for liver disease. That means apart from liver disease, ఇంకా ఏవైతే ఇదిగో మయోకార్డియల్ ఇన్ఫాక్షన్, మజిల్ డిసీజెస్, వీటిలన్నిటిలో కూడా ఇట్ విల్ బి ఇంక్రీస్డ్. సో ఇక అప్పుడు ఫ్రాక్షనల్ టెస్ట్ చేయాలి, అంటే వెదర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ది కార్డియాక్ ఫ్రాక్షన్ ఆర్ లివర్ ఫ్రాక్షన్ ఆర్ మజిల్ ఫ్రాక్షన్, సంథింగ్ లైక్ దట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు డూ. అంత అవసరం లేదు, బట్ ALT is more synthetic, more specific for liver diseases than AST. Of course, alkaline phosphatase is from the this is also from liver, bone, placenta and intestine. And the ALP is increased as a result of increased sense of enzymes by the cells lining the biliary canaliculum. Biliary canaliculum అంటే పోర్టల్ ట్రయడ్ నుంచి biliary canaliculum వెళ్తాయి కదా, అక్కడి నుంచి తయారవుతుంది. కాబట్టి it will be increased, and especially in intrahepatic jaundice, obstructive jaundice, వీటిలో కూడా ఈ ALP will be more increased. Because gamma glutamyl transaminase enzyme కూడా same, this is also synthesizing function on the liver. So our main concern most of the times it will be asked is the bilirubin. ఏం టెస్ట్ చేస్తారు? What is the test for bilirubin? ఇది what is this?
Yeah.
Vandenberg reaction. Bilirubin టెస్ట్ చేసేదాన్ని Vandenberg reaction అంటారు. బ్లడ్ లో కోర్స్ యూరిన్ లో ఉంటాయి బైల్ పిగ్మెంట్స్, బైల్ సాల్ట్స్ వచ్చేసి హేస్ టెస్ట్, బైల్ పిగ్మెంట్స్ వచ్చేసి పౌచెస్ టెస్ట్, దట్ ఈస్ ఫర్ యూరిన్ బైల్ సాల్ట్స్ అండ్ బైల్ పిగ్మెంట్స్. whereas serum bilirubin will be estimated by Vandenberg, both direct and indirect. ఇవన్నీ కూడా అది కొంచెం ఈ బిలియరీ సింథసిస్ ఇదంతా మీరు కొంచెం చదివితే కొంచెం అర్థమవుతుంది. because this is more from physiology and medicine textbooks. This is our enterohepatic circulation. This is also very important. This will be covered more in the topic of obstructive jaundice. అది కూడా నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ లో ఉంటుంది. So the values in normal values, hemolytic anemia, that means pre-hepatic, hepatitis at hepatic, and obstructive jaundice and post-hepatic jaundice. How these values will be changed. The table బాగా బట్టి పెట్టారు. సో అక్యూట్ లివర్ ఫెయిల్యూర్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా మీకు వచ్చి ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇవన్నీ కూడా మీకు ఇట్ విల్ బి కవర్డ్ మోర్ in case of medicine lo baga cover chestam. Okay, and I want to ask you, what is the scoring system for knowing the severity of the liver disease? Jappandi. The King College criteria okati for orthotopic liver transplantation, and ఇది ఎగ్జామ్స్ లో కామన్ గా అడిగేది. చైల్డ్ పఫ్ క్లాసిఫికేషన్, చైల్డ్ పఫ్ PUGH, చైల్డ్ పఫ్ అంటే పఫ్ మోడిఫికేషన్ ఆఫ్ చైల్డ్స్ క్లాసిఫికేషన్. ఇది ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇందులో 5 criteria will be taken: bilirubin, albumin, ascites, neurological disorders, that is encephalopathy, and nutrition. So these 5 things will be taken into consideration, and it will be graded into ABC. So apart from those serum blood investigations, routinely all these tests will be done for liver diseases depending on the requirement. For example, ultrasound abdomen. What is the disease you can diagnose with ultrasound abdomen? Ultrasound abdomen to a liver disease you can identify. Almost all the liver diseases can be identified with found out, especially liver abscess. Liver abscess is whether that abscess is justified or not అనేది కూడా క్లియర్ గా తెలుసు. ఈ యాంజియోగ్రఫీ ఫర్ హెమాంజియోమాస్ అండ్ ఆల్ కోకిల్ ఒకటి ఇక్కడ రావడం చేస్తుంది. And our CT scan is the investigation for all liver major pathologies for hepatocellular carcinoma, portal hypertension and all those things. PTC, ERCP, MRI, laparoscopy and laparoscopic ultrasound and liver biopsy. Finally, we will do the diagnosis. These are some of the all the investigations. Apart from the serological and blood investigations, lab investigations, biochemical investigations, they are the routinely done investigations, and things will be covered in specific details of the okay. Of course, these are చదివారు ఇదంతా మీరు చదవండి బాబు. అల్ట్రాసౌండ్ ఇవన్నీ నేను మీకు డిసీజెస్ చెప్పేటప్పుడు ఇవన్నీ మీకు చెప్తాను. ఓకే, ఇవి మీరు చదవండి, ఈజీలీ యూ కెన్ అండర్స్టాండ్. ఇప్పుడు టుడేస్ టాపిక్ ఈజ్ ఆన్ liver abscess. Today's topic is on liver abscess. పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ తెలుస్తుందా ఏది?
లేదు సార్, పీపీటీ రావట్లేదు సార్.
ఎందుకు రావట్లేదు? రెజ్యూమ్ పవర్ పాయింట్ ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు వస్తుందా పవన్ కళ్యాణ్?
Yes sir.
సో మెయిన్లీ టుడేస్ టాపిక్ ఇస్ లివర్ యాబ్సెస్. ఇప్పుడు ఇదొక పీపీటీ ఇస్తాను ఈరోజు, లివర్ యాబ్సెస్, అండ్ ఇంకా వేరే వాళ్ళు తయారు చేసిన లివర్ యాబ్సెస్ పీపీటీలు కూడా ఇస్తాను. ఆఫ్టర్ మధ్యాహ్నం ఒకసారి బుక్ దగ్గర పెట్టుకొని ప్లీజ్ గో త్రూ దీస్ పీపీటీ presentations and edit as you like. You can edit. They are all editable PPTs. So liver abscess is very common, all of you know. Can anybody tell what are the two common causes for what are the two major types of liver abscess?
Primary and secondary.
Primary and secondary. Primary and secondary, that is for tumors.
Lobar, lobular.
లోబారు లోబ్యూల్ అది కూడా కాదు. సి ఇక్కడ చూడండి టైప్స్, పయోజెనిక్ అండ్ పారాసైటిక్. Parasitic is mainly, what is the main parasite that gives rise to liver abscess?
Amoeba and entamoeba is.
Yes, entamoeba hysteretica. That is amoebic liver abscess and pyogenic liver abscess. These are the two common liver abscesses that will give rise to that will present as liver abscess. Very rarely fungal, due to fungi also liver abscess can occur, but these are the two common. Pyemic, that is hematogenous due to various bacteria, and the amoeba, entamoeba histolytica, which gives rise to amoebic liver abscess. So now let us go to the amoebic liver abscess. This is the just beginning diagram. So the amoebic liver abscess is caused by entamoeba histolytica. It reaches via portal vein from the intestinal amoebiasis. What is the route? Fecal-oral through ingestion of the cyst. Remember, the ingestion of the cyst is the infecting agent. Okay. Whereas the trophozoite is the
feeding stage.
which gives rise to pathology. So this life cycle కూడా తెలుసుకోండి, ఒక్కొక్కసారి ఫన్నీగా అడుగుతుంటారు. Okay, transmission is fecal-oral through the injection of the cyst. That means in the fecal matter in the stools, the cyst will be passed. Okay. So this is the life cycle. The cysts will be entered into the stomach. Once they are entered into the stomach and duodenum, the cyst wall will be digested and it becomes the trophozoite. So the trophozoite finally will go to the intestine. Through the portal circulation, it will enter the liver. And apart from that, the extra hepatic sites like lungs and CNS also, it can go. Okay, that is the extra intestinal manifestations. And once the cyst is ingested, it will get excisted. That means the overlying port will be digested and it will become trophozoite. It will go to the via portal radicals. It goes to the liver, so forming a liver abscess. And it can go extra intestinal, extra hepatic also into the CNS or into the lungs. These are the common sites. Okay. Life history of the idokatanu hydatid cyst. ఈ రెండు చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్, మనకు అడుగుతారు. You please go through the life history, life cycle of amoeba and that hydatid cyst, Echinococcus. So this is the trophozoite, this is the cyst. Of course, this is from the medicine textbook. So amoebic liver abscess from the base of the amoebic ulcer of the large intestine. You see, this is the amoebic liver abscess. So first it forms as an ulcer in the intestine, because the cyst and trophozoites will form an intestinal ulcer. From there, via the portal radicals, it goes to the liver. Trophozoites of Histolytica enters as emboli in the radicals of the portal vein. Trophozoites enter portal sinusoids and lobules, and multiplication in liver cells, both in hepatic cytolysis and thrombosis of the portal vein used by the amoeba. And finally, there will be focal necrosis of the liver cells, giving rise to abscess. So it forms mainly because through the intestinal tract, because it is a fecal-oral route. Once it is ingested, the common site is the right or left colon. It forms as amoebic ulcer. From there, the trophozoites will enter into the portal circulation, and finally they will lodge in the liver. So these are some of the points. And the Glissen's capsule. What is that Glissen's capsule?
Around hepatocytes.
No, the entire liver is covered by Glissen's capsule. Remember, the entire liver is covered by the Glissen's capsule. And at the porta hepatis, the Glissen capsule also enters via the blood vessels and bile ducts. They will encircle the portal tracts and system and all those things, hepatocytes and all those things. So Glissen's capsule is the covering of the liver. Over the Glissen's capsule, there will be velcro. Okay. Abscess cavity is crisscross. You see. So the entire liver will be covered by the Glissen's capsule. At the place of portal tract, the Glissen's capsule also enters as a sheath over the portal vessels, and it will be in the portal tracts and in the canaliculi. This is all Glissen's capsule. At the central vein, it covers all the vessels of the liver. So, because it is very resistant to liquefaction necrosis process. Abscess cavity is crisscrossed by the vascular and biliary portal structures. You see, abscess cavity will be very crisscross. And this is the Glissen's capsule. So it will not come out of the Glissen's capsule. It's very resistant. So after some time, the entire And even these things also will be necrosed, giving rise to entire liver abscess. As they are covered by the intrahepatic covering of the Glissen's capsule. So the Glissen's capsule will be covering the entire liver surface, and it will enter into the liver also via the portal system, portal tract or hilum of the liver into the portal into the liver. You keep remember this point. So mostly it is a solitary abscess, amoebic liver abscess. Remember, most of the abscess by the amoebiasis is solitary abscess. It's commonly in the right lobe. Common site is posterior superior part of the right lobe is the most common site. So this is you can go through the diagram which you can easily understand. The abscess cavity. First, color vary from grayish yellow to chocolate. What is the classical terminology? Anchovy sauce pus. Anchovy sauce and chocolate color lo brown colored chocolate colored pus. Okay, and all these things you can see the congested capillaries around the liver abscess and all those things. This is the histological appearance of the amoebic liver abscess. So clinical features, most of the times it is no complaints, asymptomatic, and it may present as acute amoebic dysentery because it is commonly coming from the colon. So the patient may have dysentery before the appearance of the liver abscess. Okay, so this point you have to remember. So the patient can have diarrhea, abdominal pain, and bleeding production, that is dysentery, and chronic amoebiasis. There may be mild diarrhea, abdominal discomfort, and bloody diarrhea with mucus, and systemic symptoms like headache, nausea, anorexia, and vomiting. All these things, of course, clinical features of the amoebiasis. So once it becomes abscess into the liver, what is the three common symptoms and signs? Because these are the very common for almost all the disease of the liver. That is the right upper quadrant pain with fever and chills and tender hepatomegaly. Tender hepatomegaly with loss of appetite, anorexia, loss of weight, and all those things will be there always. And for almost all the diseases, even in obstructive jaundice also, the clinical picture will be right. So the classical three symptoms you have to mention is the right upper quadrant pain, fever with chills, and tender hepatomegaly. So there may be a diarrhea. If the intestinal ulcer is still active, there may be diarrhea and dysentery. Apart from this liver abscess, you have to keep. So this is the these are all the various signs and symptoms. Because if you can easily go through and you can understand, nothing peculiar in this. And what happens if the liver abscess bursts, ruptures? So what will happen? It usually ruptures into, can anybody tell? Amoebic liver abscess, it usually ruptures into we are more concerned
Subdiaphragmatic.
subdiaphragmatic space problem. ఇప్పుడు ఇదేంటిది amoebic liver abscess? What are these arrows? What is this arrow? What is this arrow? What is this arrow? Subdiaphragmatic అంటే ఏమని చెప్పాలి? What is this cavity?
Peritoneum, pleural, pericardial.
So our main concern is the amoebic liver abscess may rupture into the peritoneal cavity, giving rise to peritonitis. The first has entered, giving rise to peritonitis. Or the second most common is it may rupture into the pleural cavity and into the lungs, giving rise to pulmonary amoebic liver abscess. So this is also very common thing. You have to keep in your mind. These are the common into the peritoneal cavity or into the lungs and pleura. and very rarely it can go to subphrenic abscess. Of course, it ruptures and the abscess lies beneath the diaphragm because it has not entered not the peritoneal cavity, nor the pleural cavity. These are all rare forms. Okay. And it may rupture. So suppose the abscess is in the liver, it may rupture directly into the stomach or into the pericardium. All these things can happen. But the common places to which the ruptured amoebic liver abscess is the into the peritoneal cavity. Second one is into the lungs and pleura. Of course, these are all the rare size like subphrenic space, granuloma cutis, that means onto the skin, and generalized peritonitis is common. Pericarditis, hematemesis. Suppose it ruptures into the stomach, it may present as a hematemesis. So these are all the rare presentations, but keep in your mind it will rupture to the peritoneal cavity and into the lungs. So the complications, of course, the toxic megacolon also can occur. Liver abscess, pleural disease, severe hemorrhage, fistulation, cerebral disease, pericardial disease, amoeboma. What is amoeboma? Usha garu, నేను మళ్ళీ చేస్తాను సార్, క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను. నేను 12:30 తర్వాత చేస్తాను. కరెక్ట్గా. మంచిది సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ. So the complications that can happen with liver abscess is multiple liver abscesses can occur. Toxic megacolon, because from the colon it may give rise to megacolon, toxic megacolon. If it goes into the lungs and pleural disease, severe hemorrhage if it enters into the stomach, fistulization. So suppose the intestinal abscess may become fistula formation with the other loop of the intestine. Of course, these are rare. Intestinal fistula are common with which disease? మనం స్మాల్ ఇంటెస్టైన్లో చెప్పాను, Crohn's disease and tuberculosis. They are the two common diseases which forms fistula between the loops of the intestine. Okay, cerebral disease, pericardial disease, amoeboma. What is amoeboma?
Granulation.
It is a granuloma. Granulomatous formation of the amoebic ulcer, amoebiasis of the colon, especially on the right side. So when it is palpable as a mass in the right iliac fossa. So then you have to keep in your mind that amoebiasis also can give rise to amoeboma as a mass in the right iliac fossa, where you have to differentiate from appendicular mass, ileocecal tuberculosis, Crohn's disease, and ileocecal carcinoma, the ileocecal junction. All those things you have to. Once there is a amoeboma formation, you have to differentiate from all the masses in the right iliac fossa. And what is the clue that it can be amoeboma? The previous history of dysentery. Previous history of dysentery is a clue that the patient had previous attack of amoebiasis, amoebic dysentery, and finally this amoeboma has developed. That is the clue. Suppose appendicular mass is there. What is the clue that it might be appendicular mass? He had an attack of appendicitis. That means pain, vomiting, temperature will be there. He had an attack of appendicitis. He neglected for the treatment. So finally it has formed as a mass, appendicular mass. Like that you have to analyze in the differential diagnosis. So ఈ amoeboma history అంతా చదవండి. So what are the investigations for the amoebic liver abscess? Simple. We have shown all the investigations. All the things will be done almost, and there will be leukocytosis and liver function tests. There may be abnormal or elevated depending on the amount of liver that is. If it is a small liver abscess, amoebic liver abscess, there will not be much change. Depending on the size of the liver abscess and the amount of necrosis that has happened due to liver abscess, the liver function test will be altered. That you have to do always. And important is the simple stool analysis, where you can identify the cysts. Cysts are usually found in the formed stool, and very rarely trophocytes also can be identified, but amoeba cysts will be present in the formed fecal matter. And serology also, like indirect hemagglutination test. These are the for specific amoebic liver abscess. Of course, complement fixation test, ELISA test, and so many things have been described. But now we usually don't go for all these things. What is the investigation will go for? Suppose the patient is having suspected amoebic liver abscess. What is the investigation we do?
X-ray, chest X-ray or
Or
USG, ultrasound.
ultrasound. Suppose any liver pathology, of course, depending on the requirement, we will do all blood tests and serological tests, liver function tests, depending on the requirement. Suppose the patient is having mild jaundice, then you have to rule out liver by doing liver function tests. How much the bilirubin is altered and all those things. Suppose the patient has developed some other complications, he has to do, but the basic investigation for any abscess is the ultrasound of the liver, which is simple and it can easily identify the ultrasound. In the ultrasound is the liver abscess. And the best and final is more sensitive than ultrasound is the CT. As I already told you, all the investigations will be done for all the disease, almost depending on the severity of the condition. Okay, generally for amoebic liver abscess, by the time the patient comes, suppose the patient has ruptured amoebic liver abscess, what investigation you will do? Ruptured amoebic liver abscess. It has ruptured into the, suppose it has ruptured into the pleura and lungs, X-ray test will be sufficient. And if it has ruptured into the peritoneal cavity, then you have to do ultrasonogram of the abdomen and CT also, how much it has extended into the peritoneal cavity. So depending on the complications, depending on the amount of the size of the liver abscess, all those things you have to do the investigations. But the basic investigations for any abscess is the ultrasound of the abdomen of the liver. Please remember. Okay. And CT will be, of course, more sensitive than the ultrasound. You please go through the all this matter. Okay. Of course, CT scan this. So the CT scan with the liver abscess. CT scan post aspiration. So the liver abscess, it has been aspirated. After aspiration, almost it is disappearing. Almost it is disappearing. So that means the CT guided aspiration might have been done in this patient. So CT scan is also very important. But with this ultrasound also you can identify the abscess and you can aspirate. You can aspirate, and the same picture will be seen in the ultrasound. And if the patient is having some other problems, and if you want to go for CT scan, that will be more ideal. It gives complete, better delineation than the ultrasound. That you have to keep in your mind. Of course, sigmoidoscopy for what? Why sigmoidoscopy? Chappali.
That prawns are ulcerated. Rule out any fistula.
To rule out any ulcers in the rectum and left colon, and colonoscopy. Right colon lo ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయేమో. So in a investigation to rule out any ulcers or active lesions in the colon, that you may have to do depending on the requirement. It's not a routine, because amoebic liver abscess is quite common, but we cannot go on doing all these investigations. Just a simple ultrasound, starting on metronidazole IV and some antibiotic, and you do aspiration. That is the simple for any liver abscess, especially this amoebic liver abscess. If it is pyogenic abscess, then you have to go for systemic third generation cephalosporins antibiotics, something. Okay, but anyway, as a for completion's sake, you may have to go for, suppose the patient is amoebic liver abscess, still he is having dysentery and diarrhea, then you have to go for sigmoidoscopy and colonoscopy to rule out why this, where from this blood is coming. Okay, bloody and mucus diarrhea is coming. You have to rule out other causes also. And this is the Anchovy sauce pus seen in liver abscess. It is just like chocolate colored. Any of you have seen this? So whenever there is a liver abscess, liver abscess case is there, our PGs and assistants will be aspirating in the radiology department under ultrasound guidance, and they will be taking pus into the bottles like this. This is called Anchovy sauce pus. This is the appearance of the Anchovy sauce pus. Of course, for any differential diagnosis, all acute can, if it is in the acute type, because it is in the right upper quadrant area, all the disease in the right upper quadrant area like hepatitis, cholecystitis, sophrenic abscess, other type of liver abscess, that is pyogenic abscess, all these things you have to rule out. Suppose if it is abscess, see, chronic amoebic liver abscess mimics hepatoma also. If it is chronic liver abscess, acute will be tender and all those things. The chronic amoebic liver abscess, it mimics hepatoma. So there will not be any pain, just a mass in the right upper quadrant in the liver. And suppose it forms suppose it is associated with a mass in the right iliac fossa, what do you call that? Amegoma. Then you have to rule out the masses in the right iliac fossa. So depending on the location, depending on the presentation, you have to rule out the differential type, other diseases. So management is simple. 750 milligrams orally 3 times per day for 10 days. This is metronidazole dose. So metronidazole is the drug of choice. All of you know metronidazole. What is the trade name? Metronidazole. Metrozil, Flagyl, all these things are trade names for మనకు మెట్రోడజోల్ అంటే తెలియదు, మెట్రోజిల్ అంటాం మనం కదా, because that is the trade name of metronidazole, which is available both as tablets and as IV form. So in acute cases you start IV, or if it is a less severe case you start orally for 10 days. So therapeutic trial, and patient is responding, continue treatment. If he is not responding,
बीच में बना दो जिससे कि कभी हमको चढ़ना पड़े, सफेदी करनी पड़े, कोई चीज ठीक करनी पड़े तो स्पेस भी मिल जाए। अच्छा, उसमें चढ़ नहीं सकते, लेकिन तो वो एक तरह से डिजाइन बन जाएगा, डिजाइन भी बन जाएगा, उसको कभी कवर कर देगा तो कवर कर देंगे, हाँ बंद कर देना, स्क्वायर बना लो या फिर ऐसे
there are some other drugs with infection.
पूरा स्क्वायर बना के ना, मतलब ये किनारे ज्यादा बड़े हो जाए, ये बीच वाला स्क्वायर छोटा हो जाए, मीन्स हम लाइक जगह मिलते हैं ना तो खड़े हो जाए।
Of drugs, and for the cyst eradicators, that means for cyst eradication, these are for the active diseases. Of course, metronidazole will act, all these things will act both on the trophozoite stage and cysts also. For specific cyst eradicators, diloxanate furoate. Diloxanate furoate. You remember this name. This is for the cyst eradicator. That means it is passed in the fecal matter, which can be eradicated by diloxanate furoate. Of course, metronidazole will take care of in any stage of the life cycle of the amoebiasis. All these things will be described in the your medicine. Okay. So amoebic indications for needle aspiration. So this is the coming to our surgical point. Large abscess more than 5 centimeters and the threat of rupture, that is the pointing sign. Large left lobe abscess, because it may rupture into the pericardium. into the heart. So that's why large left abscess, they are the indications for immediate needle aspiration. And lack of response to metronidazole treatment for 3 to 5 days as a toxic or ill patient, and need to rule out other out of pyogenic abscess. Because I already told you 2 common causes for liver abscesses. One is amoebiasis, second one is pyogenic. And of the 2, which is more common? If you know, pyogenic liver abscess is more common. Pyogenic liver abscess is more common. Of course, you can say 50-50%. Amoebiasis is more common. Intestinal amoebiasis is one of the commonest parasitic infections in the entire world. Whereas amoebic liver abscess is a little common, and it is less common than the pyemic liver abscess. Pyemic liver abscess due to various liver diseases can occur as a, both as a direct spread or a hematogenous spread. Anywhere in the any abscess in the gastrointestinal tract, for example, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, from there the bacteria may go via the portal vein into the liver, forming a liver abscess. So that is more common than the amoebiasis. But classically, amoebic liver abscess is equally common than the pyemic liver abscess. But anyway, you have to rule out if it is amoebic liver abscess, is relatively safe, because with metronidazole and simple aspiration, majority of the amoebic liver abscess can be controlled. Whereas pyemic liver abscess, because it is due to bacteria and there may be associated septic shock and endotoxemia, so you have to give more vigorous antibiotics, higher antibiotics, and all these things. So the amoebic complications, if it is ruptured into the pleural space, it will lead to empyema, hepatobronchial fistula, and lung abscess. And patient may present with pleura and all those things. Then the medicine lo cheppara, if it has ruptured into the pericardial sac, it is potentially fatal because it will compress the pericardial heart. And if it is into the peritoneum, it will give rise to peritonitis. Suppose it has ruptured into the peritoneum, it has given the peritonitis. Tell me the treatment. మీకు అక్యూట్ అబ్డమెన్ చెప్పారు, స్టమక్ చెప్పారు, కాంప్లికేషన్స్ ఆఫ్ పెప్టిక్ అల్సర్ చెప్పారు, పెరిటోనైటిస్ చెప్పారు, అన్ని చెప్పారు. ది అమీబిక్ లివర్ అబ్సెస్ హ్యాస్ రప్చర్డ్ ఇంటూ ది పెరిటోనియల్ క్యావిటీ. జస్ట్ టెల్ మీ ది ట్రీట్మెంట్. పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ నువ్వు చెప్పు, లేకపోతే ఒక అమ్మాయి ఎవరో చెప్తుంటుంది, ఆ అమ్మాయి చెప్పమ్మా. వాట్ ఇస్ ది ట్రీట్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ పెరిటోనైటిస్?
పెరిటోనియల్ అవాయిడ్ చేసి దెన్ విల్ డు peritoneal aspiration.
Peritoneal aspiration. No. Peritoneal aspiration ayyanni chinna. Once there is a clear-cut peritonitis, what is the treatment? Exploratory laparotomy. Because there is already pus is there. Why aspiration and testing, all those things? I told you the amoebic liver abscess is there in the liver, which has ruptured into the peritoneal cavity. So it has become an abdominal peritonitis. So once there is an established peritonitis, you have to open the abdomen, you have to let out all the peritoneal contents. So the treatment of peritonitis, 4 steps ఉన్నాయి. మీకు చెప్పలేదు అక్యూట్ అబ్డమెన్? నేనే చెప్పినట్టున్నాను కదమ్మా. ఓకే. ది పెరిటోనియల్, ది ట్రీట్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ పెరిటోనైటిస్, ఎక్స్ప్లోరేటరీ లాపరోటమీ. అంటే వాట్ ఈస్ ద కామనెస్ట్ కాజ్ ఆఫ్ పెరిటోనైటిస్, ఎవరైనా చెప్పగలరా? Amoebic liver abscess.
Perforated peptic ulcer.
Very good. Perforated which peptic ulcer?
Duodenal, sir.
Perforated chronic duodenal ulcer is the commonest cause of peritonitis. So atla undanuko. Of course, in this case, it is not peptic ulcer, it is the amoebic liver abscess. But aina gaani the principles are same. Explore the abdomen, remove all the contents of the peritoneal cavity, you look for the pathology. If it is liver abscess, you evacuate that, you debride that area also. You debride that area also. If it is duodenal ulcer, you suture it. Graham's patch, modified Graham's operation. You suture it and with omental reinforcement. Okay, then you peritoneal lavage. You wash all the contents of the peritoneal cavity with plenty of normal saline, 5 to 10 liters abdominal poyali. You wash, that is called peritoneal toilet or peritoneal lavage. And then close the abdomen by keeping the drains. Where will you keep the drains? If it is amoebic liver abscess, you keep one drain in the abscess cavity, one drain as usual in the pelvis. If it is due to chronic duodenal ulcer, you keep one drain in the Morrison's pouch, that is hepatorenal pouch, and the other drain is always in the pelvis. By keeping the drains, you close the abdomen. So, ఇప్పుడు 4 steps వచ్చాయా? Exploratory laparotomy, peritoneal lavage, treatment procedure, that is if it is due to the commonest causes chronic duodenal ulcer, the examination lo adugutaru chronic duodenal ulcer, the operation is modified Graham's patch operation and peritoneal toilet and closure of the abdomen by keeping the drains, Morrison's pouch and in the pelvic cavity. This is the terminology, this is the sequence you have to tell in the exam. Likewise, if it is due to amoebic liver abscess giving rise to peritonitis, same. You explore the abdomen, remove all the contents of the peritoneal cavity, not organs. The pus and exudate, amoebic liver pus, all those things you remove and you do peritoneal lavage. Keep drains, one in the liver abscess cavity area, other in the pelvis, and you close the abdomen. Just like that. Okay. Suppose the peritonitis is due to appendicular perforation. Now tell me. Chapamai. The peritonitis is due to appendicitis which has perforated. You tell me the steps.
Sir, same peritonitis,
Same చెప్పు.
same steps.
Same అంటే ఏంటి? మీ ఛాన్స్ చెప్పించాలండి కదా. Exploratory laparotomy. Yes.
Diagnostic lavage, peritoneal lavage.
Peritoneal lavage, doing appendicectomy.
And keeping the
Appendicular.
yes, sir.
And keeping the drains, one in the appendicular area, other in the pelvic cavity. If necessary, you can keep in the third drain in the Morrison's pouch. So likewise, you have to explain, you have to tell. The steps are same if there is any peritoneal. Suppose there is a amoebic liver abscess ruptured into the pleural space. What is the treatment?
Drain change, ICD.
ICD. Very good. Intercostal drainage చేయాలి. Okay. If it is into the pericardial sac, which is potentially fatal, you just aspirate. That is the only thing we can do. Okay. So you keep in that mind. Whereas if it is into the peritonitis, a 4 steps చెప్పాలి. Anyway, peritonitis, you have to follow those 4 steps. So this is the complicated scenario. And at the same time, you please keep remember, under the cover of anti-amoebic treatment, because I told you amoebic liver abscess has burst. So anti-amoebic treatment, and in fact for any peritonitis case, we usually start apart from antibiotic that metronidazole IV also. That will be sufficient. So under cover of this see this has ruptured into the peritoneal cavity, aspiration. You see laparotomy, peritoneal lavage and suturing with drains. Okay, under the cover of broad spectrum antibiotics and anti-amoebic liver, anti-amoebic therapy. And if he has drained into the, of course, we already discussed, drained into the pleural cavity, you can do intercostal drainage. If it is into the pericardium, pericardiocentesis. And the next one is the pyogenic abscess. That is the amoebic liver abscess. This is the pyogenic abscess. Almost the etiology will be a little different because it is due to the pyemic source of infection. The common sources of infection is to form pyogenic liver abscess in liver. Anybody can tell?
Portal pyema.
Very good. Portal pyema. That is, portal pyema is due to this cholangitis, this cholecystitis, and all those things. So this is the common. So there will be infective focus in the portal radicals and within the, and from there it forms a abscess in the liver. That portal pyemia can be in the portal radicals. It can be in anywhere in the gastrointestinal tract. The focus may be anywhere in the gastrointestinal tract, from where this portal pyemia can spread to the liver. So pyogenic abscess, you see, these are the various routes: trauma, direct extension, portal vein. This is portal vein is portal pyemia. Hepatic artery, from artery also it can spread. Trauma and liquefaction necrosis, and biliary route. From gallbladder also it can go. Gallbladder and bile ducts also it can go. So that means any infection in surrounding the liver area, or in the portal vein, venous drainage area, and very rarely hepatic artery. Hepatic artery means systemic infections. For example, there is brain abscess or abscess elsewhere. It can enter into the liver via the systemic circulation. But that is rare, but these are the three common routes: biliary route, portal pyemia, direct extension. For example, the gallbladder. Suppose here is the gallbladder which has got infected. So it is constantly touching the liver. It may spread directly into the, suppose there is empyema gallbladder, it may directly go into the liver. And trauma, injury to the liver, giving rise to liquefaction necrosis and abscess. Secondary infection giving rise to abscess. Okay, there are the various routes by which pyogenic liver abscess. What is this ligament? The ligament ఏంటి?
Falciform.
Falciform ligament.
Falciform ligament. Cantill's line అంటే ఏంటి?
Line
falciform
falling.
left and right. This is all the right, this is the left. But they are not surgical lobes. The surgical lobes will be Cantill's line. Cantill's line ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది కదా gall bladder, from gall bladder fossa to the ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది IVC, inferior
Vena cava fossa.
inferior vena cava to gall bladder fossa. So this is the Cantill's line. So Cantill's line, this is the right lobe, and from here it is the left lobe. So anatomy బాగా చదవండి, ఎందుకంటే ఇంపార్టెంట్ అది. ఓకే, సో pyogenic liver abscess, ఆ రూట్స్ అన్ని చెప్పాము. ఆల్ ది diseases you can name. What is this cryptogenic abscess? Cryptogenic means where you cannot identify the idiopathy, you cannot identify the source of infection. So that also can be can occur. Okay, ఇదంతా చదవండి. The previous one is the various routes in the diagrammatic form. This is a diagrammatic form, and these are the various diseases that can give rise to pyogenic liver abscess. And this is how the biliary route అన్నాం కదా. So any pathology in the biliary tract, so there will be obstruction to the flow of the liver, and the infection may spread. This is called cholangitis. The infection may spread into the liver, giving rise to abscesses. Okay, this is the biliary route. This is the portal vein. Suppose there is any abscesses in the portal drainage area, more commonly from the appendix or from the colon, they may go into the liver. And this is hepatic artery, anywhere in the body. More commonly, the other common abscess are CNS abscess, this osteomyelitis bone abscess, and this pneumonia, lung abscess, and osteomyelitis. What else? They are the common areas from where via the hepatic artery there may be pyemic abscess into the liver. Suppose endocarditis, subacute endocarditis, which is common in rheumatic fever. So that also can spread as into the liver as pyemic liver abscess via systemic route. So direct extension, suppose there is any pathology in the gallbladder, it may directly extend. And because this is the colon, what area this is? Hepatic flexure. Hepatic flexure will be very close to the liver. So any pathology like diverticulosis, ulcerative colitis, it may directly spread into the liver. Likewise, kidney is also related to liver. From kidney also, the directly it can spread into the liver. So kidney, gallbladder, and from the colon. So they are the main things. From where directly there may be involvement of the liver to give rise to pyemic. That means the infection in these areas may directly spread to the liver. Direct spread. So the commonest organisms are E. coli and Klebsiella, gram negative, and anaerobic bacteroides, and gram positive Streptococcus milleri and faecalis. And predisposing are risk factors: elderly, diabetic, and immunosuppressed. So site and number of abscess, you remember amoebic abscess are mainly solitary abscesses, whereas pyemic abscesses, they can be solitary and large, or they can be multiple. Okay, mostly it is involving the right lobe of the liver. See this very self-explanatory slides, we can go through. Okay, and this is the clinical presentation of abscess. As usual, right upper quadrant pain, fever with chills and rigors, and jaundice. Depending on the amount of necrosis, depending on the size of the abscess, hepatomegaly may be there. And if it is in the right upper area, close to the diaphragm, there may be difficulty in breathing. And if it has ruptured into the pleural cavity, like that, the symptomatology will change. And what are the investigations? As usual, CBC, HB, anemia, and blood culture, because if we are suspecting pyogenic bacterial infection in this case, we have to rule out, we have better to go for blood culture to know the common organism. What is the commonest organism? E. coli. Second one is the Klebsiella, and the third one is the bacteroids, anaerobic bacteroids. And you see LFT, abnormal, elevated ALP and bilirubin, alkaline phosphatase. That means, what does it mean? ALP will be affected when the biliary radicals will be affected. You remember this point. ALP, so in obstructive jaundice of intrahepatic type or extrahepatic type, the ALP will be much more increased, alkaline phosphatase. In prehepatic type, it will not be much increased. Intrahepatic and obstructive type, the ALP will be much more increased. That you have to keep in your mind. Because liver abscess, I already told you, it is due to portal pyemia and biliary, from the biliary route, this enzyme will be increased. Of course, bilirubin also will be increased depending on the size of the liver abscess. Imaging as usual, ultrasound and CT scan. See, you can see the abdomen, you can see multiple abscesses. Okay, the multiple abscesses which are being pointed out. So investigations as usual, X-ray chest to rule out any abscess extension into the whether they have burst into the lungs and pleural cavity or into the pericardial cavity, which is very rare. And if they are very subphrenic abscess also you can see, and there will be splinting of the diaphragm. The elevated right dome of the diaphragm will be there, and simultaneously the patient will have pain, elevated right heavy diaphragm when taking the breath. And air fluid levels, very rarely, for example, in this case, air fluid level is suggestive of anaerobic infections, gas-forming organisms like E. coli and bacteria. And ultrasound abdomen will give rise to the abscess, and if they round or oval, less echogenic than liver. See, this is the less echogenic. This is all the liver. It is less echogenic than the liver. Same pyogenic liver abscess. This is the CT fluid level. In this case, you can see the fluid level. So this is the abscess cavity. You can see the fluid. So that means there is a gas forming organisms also are present. You have to suspect. That means depending on that, you have to increase the power of the antibiotics. See, multiple abscesses. This is also a case of CT with multiple abscesses. So treatment is antibiotics with metronidazole. Penicillin, aminoglycoside, metronidazole, or cephalosporin or metronidazole. And the second one is the percutaneous drainage, either ultrasound or CT guided. Same, just for amoebic liver abscess also. The pigtail aspiration, ఎవరైనా విన్నారా పేరు? Different options for the treatment of pyogenic. This is ultrasound guided aspiration. And the CT guided. This is the CT they are taking, and through the guidance they are passing the needle and they are aspirating the pus. CT or ultrasound guided aspiration can be done. And if it is not feasible or possible, then you have to go for multiple abscesses, patient not toxic. You give antibiotics, do all these tests, continue parenteral antibiotics for two weeks, oral antibiotic for at least 4 weeks. This is one option, purely conservative management. And second one is ultrasound guided aspiration. Third one is pigtail, within the pigtail enter. So through the aspiration, they will aspirate and they will pass a tube. Through ultrasound guidance, they will pass a tube into the abscess cavity, which will drain the residual cavity. This is called the pigtail operation, pigtail drainage of the liver abscess. So next one is percutaneous catheter or pigtail. This is also pigtail. And lap, and if all these things are not, suppose it has ruptured into the peroneal cavity, then you have to go for explorative lab. So if it is not possible, the patient is toxic, the patient is deteriorating, you are not able to manage, it is not getting controlled by antibiotics and by all these things, aspirations, then you have to open and aspirate. Then you have to open the abdomen and you have to aspirate from the multiple liver abscesses. And it has ruptured, the same procedure, all the 4 modalities you have to follow. So what are the 4 modalities? Are you able to understand? So purely conservative, ultrasound guided aspiration, pigtail aspiration, and if it is not possible, exploratory laparotomy and aspiration, and suppose it has burst into the peritoneal cavity, doing exploratory laparotomy and peritoneal lavage. So these are the things you have to keep in your mind for liver abscess. And this is the major differences between amoebic and pyemic abscess. Amoebic abscess is a relatively young age. Pyemic abscess more than 50 years. Male-female ratio 9:1. Pyemic abscess are almost equal. Abdominal pain, diarrhea, abdominal tenderness, hepatomegaly in amoebic liver abscess. In this also high fever, pruritus, jaundice and septic shock. In the pyemic abscess, jaundice and septic shock, because it is due to highly virulent bacteria, there will be associated septic shock. So you have to go for very broad spectrum antibiotics, and 1 or 2 major antibiotics you have to give, like imipenem, ceftazidime, third or fourth generation cephalosporins, along with metronidazole. Whereas for amoebiasis, just metronidazole will be sufficient, but as a precaution, we will give some simple second generation cephalosporins or aminoglycosides like gentamicin, something like that we will give. Whereas for this pyemic liver abscess, because there will be associated jaundice is more common in pyemic liver abscess than in amoebic liver abscess. Because pyemic liver abscess, the source is hepatocyte and biliary canaliculi. The canaliculi, because the common route is from the biliary tract. Okay, that's why there will be more chances of jaundice will be there. So you have to be more careful with the management of the pyemic liver abscess. Okay. Thank you very much. రేపు మన క్లాస్ 10:30కి పవన్ కళ్యాణ్
Yes, sir. Great.
ఇప్పుడు లివర్ యాప్సెస్ ఇది ఇప్పుడు ఇది పంపిస్తాను. ఇంకొక లివర్ యాప్సెస్ ఏదో నా దగ్గర వేరే వాళ్ళది ఎవరితో చేసింది కూడా ఉంది, అది కూడా పంపిస్తాను. ఈ జస్ట్ గో త్రూ. మన దాంట్లో ఎక్కువ పిక్చర్స్ ఉంటాయి, మన దాంట్లో ఏమున్నాయి ఒకసారి చూడండి. అండ్ డిపెండింగ్ ఆన్ ది రిక్వైర్మెంట్ యూ కెన్ ఎడిట్ ఎనీ ఆఫ్ ది దీస్ PPTs, but you first go through the PPT keeping the text in, because ఇవన్నీ నావన్నీ ఆర్డర్లో ఉంటాయి, లేదా బెయిల్ అండ్ లవ్ కానీ లేకపోతే అట్లీస్ట్ మన దాని పేరు ఏంటి SRB కానీ ఇట్లా ఒక ఆర్డర్లో ఉంటాయి. అందరూ ఆర్డర్గానే ఉంటాయి, బట్ డిపెండింగ్ ఆన్ మోర్ డయాగ్రమాటిక్గా నా ప్రజెంటేషన్. సో అదని ఇంకో ప్రజెంటేషన్ కూడా ఉన్నాయి, అన్ని ఆ రెండు కూడా చూసి యూ కంపేర్. ఎందుకంటే లివర్ abscess అని suppose they ask in the examination liver abscess, you have to write both amoebic and pyemic liver abscess. And if they ask about amoebic liver abscess, then amoebic liver abscess. So the difference is very little, but the management is almost always same. You keep that point in your mind. If they ask liver abscess, you have to more write the life cycle of the entamoeba. Okay, that you have to keep in your mind. And if they ask in general, you can write amoebic liver abscess for 4 points, pyemic liver abscess 4 points. And in the last slide, I have given the differences. You have to mention those points. And the basic procedures: conservative medical management, drugs, observation. If it is not possible, ultrasound or CT guided aspiration. Or still, if it is not possible, you have to open and you have to aspirate. And if they are ruptured, depending on the cavity, you have to do the drainage. And more concerned, if it is a peritoneal cavity, those 4 steps you have to keep in mind. Right? Okay? అందరూ జాగ్రత్తగా ఉంటున్నారా కరోనా?
Yes, sir.
ఇల్లు దాటి బయటికి రండి. ఒక సినిమాలు లేవనుకోండి, పార్టీలు గీర్టీలు ఏమైనా నేను పెట్టుకోకండి. డోంట్ ఇన్వైట్ ఎనీబడి ఆల్సో. యు నో ది ఆంధ్ర రిజల్ట్స్ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ అప్ లైక్ ఎనీథింగ్ కదా. ఏపీ కరోనా మనది ఎక్కడో 15th place, 13th place ఉండేది, 3rd place I think now. So we must be more cautious and more careful. మీకు నెక్స్ట్ మంత్ అంతా కూడా క్లాసులు ఇక్కడికి వచ్చే పరిస్థితి లేదు కాబట్టి ది సేమ్ విల్ బి కంటిన్యూ. అండ్ టుమారో విల్ టేకప్ ది హైడ్రాటిక్ సిస్ట్ ఎట్ 10:30. ఈ 2 PPTలు పంపిస్తున్నాను, మీరు చూడండి. తర్వాత లివర్ అనాటమీ అని అవి కూడా మీరు వెంటనే నా PPT వచ్చిన వెంటనే బెయిల్ అండ్ లవ్ తీసుకొని, లేకపోతే వాట్ ఎవర్ బుక్ యూఆర్ రెడీ, బెయిల్ అండ్ లవ్ ఆర్ SRB తీసుకుని వెంటనే ఆ చాప్టర్ చదివేయండి. ఇట్ విల్ బి సెల్ఫ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేటరీ అండ్ యూ విల్ నాట్ ఫర్గెట్. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ. రైట్, ఉంటా పవన్.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
థ్యాంక్ యూ. స్టాప్ రికార్డింగ్.